This feels like a must-win fight between two dynamic fighters who are both on two-fight losing streaks, and both of those two-fight losing streaks are finish streaks. You hate to see it, Matt. We have the Death Star, Khama taking on the Black Country banger, Jai Herbert. Matt, for Herbert, the former Cage Warriors champ, and listen, I've hyped prospects up before. I've been wrong about prospects before, but I have to say this. For Herbert coming in as a Cage Warriors champ, his two-fight run has been more Chris Fishgold than it has Jack Hermanson. It's been more, I don't know, Craig White than it has Conor McGregor. So when I look at Herbert coming in, listen, cards on the table, big Cage Warriors guy. I think the production values are great. I think they put on lovely little shows. I think Max Roshkoff could be a star again from his fights over there. I think Spike Carlisle could be something after his big win over JJ Ambrose. But I have to dampen my expectations sometimes. And this is one of those ones where Herbert racked up big wins over big names. Like, it was something to get excited about. And then he comes in and fights an old Masaranduba, and Herb Dean just wanted to see more punishment in that one. And it was disgusting.
Masaranduba might be the violence weight champion in the UFC. That might be a bit of a hot take. It might be a bit of an exaggeration.
Lose that this weekend.
But that 40-something-year-old man could throw hands. And it was a weird debut. And it was one of those debuts where it's like, okay, former Cage Warriors champion fighting a 40-year-old. We all know how this is going to go, right? Right? And then Francisco Trinaldo, to his credit, did look great in that fight. And he is built like a brick house, which is odd for his age, but still, Trinaldo looked good. And it was a weird fight for Jai Herbert because he has great boxing on the feet. He's got great power. But the southpaw look of Trinaldo seemed to give Herbert problems, and just the movement of Trinaldo on the feet seemed to give Herbert a little bit of trouble, because on the feet, yes, Herbert's really good, but guys who move really well on the outside, it sort of stifles his attack a little bit. He's almost a little bit more hesitant to just engage with guys who do have their great movement on the outside, because in the pocket, I think Jai Herbert can have like those 60-40 exchanges. I think he's a little bit better than a 50-50 guy, you know, like he'll catch a jiu-jitsu guy on the feet for the most part, but you know, Jai Herbert at his best is getting into some of those close range brawls. When he is fighting a guy, even, I guess not really all that relevant, but Cowboy Oliveira at his prime at lightweight, a guy who could move a lot, could switch stances on the outside, someone like that would give Jai Herbert problems, and I guess that's exactly what Trinaldo did. And then you look, okay, you lose to Trinaldo. Why are they making a fight Hanato Moicano? Like, the matchmaking for Jai Herbert's just been very strange throughout his career, and honestly, this is the first fight that I'm like, okay, I'm good with the matchmaking on this, because Khama, like you said, needs a win. We know what the best version of Khama is. He's got good defensive submissions. He's got pretty good power on the feet. Yes, we worry about his durability, but at least Khama at his best can be a really fun fighter.
For Herbert, he rides this wave of success into the UFC just for it to crash down. For Khama, he rides a wave of something. I mean, listen, expectations for Worthy were pretty low. You're an old prospect, if you can even say that. You're a journeyman, some would say.
Because weight classes?
Listen, he had a loss to Paul Felder by knockout at lightweight in 2012. He had a knockout loss to Kyle Nelson at 145. Like, he had fought good competition. He had lost a good competition. So when I looked at that, I went, oh, okay, this guy's going to be whatever he is. And then he fights a guy who's a former teammate in Smith and finishes him and earns a performance bonus. And that was on a pay-per-view. And then if you look at it, his next fight, he beats a guy that a lot of people, you know, yikes, but Luis Pena, and he submits him. That's a big deal. That's a giant deal. So then if you look at it, he fights Otman Zaitsar, who, where are the potatoes, bud? And he gets knocked out. And then you go, okay, well, he wasn't durable at 145. What are we going to do in his next fight? He fights Jamie Mullarkey. And he gets caught by a punch and stanky-legged and loses all defenses. And then that's it. So when I look at Khama, great from long range, great defensive jiu-jitsu. When it's on the mat, period, he's a very, very formidable fighter. For Herbert, great boxing, outside, in tight, very fun guy to watch. He can give one to take one, maybe not against Francisco Trinaldo, but the same thing can be said for Khama. I doubt he could take a clean shot from Trinaldo, Matt.
I know Francis Ngannou could.
I don't think I could, and we're going to find out this weekend who can. But Matt, when I look at this fight, there's so many question marks around it that I'd have a hard time being incredibly confident either way. I mean, Herbert excels against strikers. Worthy does sometimes, so that's the thing. The chins are the giant question mark. When I look at the odds for this one, Herbert opened a -105. It dropped, and now it's been fairly steady. He's -180 right now. For Worthy, he opened a -115. He's a plus 147. When we look at the Tapology votes, Matt, not that close. 759 of them. 66% Herbert. 84% by knockout for the 34% that have Worthy. 71% by knockout. I have all sorts of notes on this fight, but the weirdest thing for me is the fact that Herbert, the fight against Massaranduba, goes on, goes on, goes on. He gets cold cocked like he's not even paying attention. And then it's like, Herb, you got to stop this, right, man? No. And then in his last fight against Moicano,
goes on and on
goes
and on.
into the second round, he gets submitted. For Worthy, he's had knockout loss in the past. Again, his first loss or his last loss at 155 by knockout was in 2012. So it was like, oh, okay, well, the durability's there at 155. And then his last two fights, he gets finished at 133 and then 46 seconds. Like, these are quick knockout losses. Both guys are heavy punchers, so you can chalk it up there, but man, the durability's not good.
And that's why I don't have any notes on this fight. Like you said, I have a lot of notes on this fight. No matter what we say, it's going to end based on whoever lands the first punch. Khama Worthy has good enough power to where I think he can knock out Jai Herbert with one clean shot. And I think Herbert has the good enough technique and good enough hand speed to do the same thing to Khama Worthy. Because I do think Worthy has the slight power edge, although I do worry about his durability to the same degree. So both guys have crazy knockout power really in the matchup. But the thing about Herbert is that I think he might be able to catch Worthy on the inside. Worthy might be able to catch him on his way to the inside, though. And that's why I think I slightly edge Khama Worthy in this fight. It's not like I think Worthy's going to go on some big run by any means, but I haven't liked the Jai Herbert I've seen throughout these last two performances whatsoever. And if the fight does hit the mat, I'm slightly more confident in Worthy's ability than I am Jai Herbert's. Again, I don't think the winner of this fight is all of a sudden going to fix their career and then go on some big run, but I'm at least slightly more confident with what I know Khama Worthy can do than the question marks I have surrounding Jai Herbert.
Shuffle, shuffle, L-step, Jai Herbert, your winner by knockout this weekend. I've got Herbert ever so slightly. But again, this is such a toss-up. I want to hear down below in the comments section, out there on the iTunes and the Spotify. When you're rating and reviewing, like I know you are, put it in the comments section. The boys told me, is it Herbert? Is it Worthy? We're split on the pick. I'm going with England's Jai Herbert. Matt's going with Pittsburgh's own Khama Worthy. Matt, I can't wait for this fight because you know it's going to be fireworks regardless of who wins. Should be a great one. Big time banger. I mean, we get the Black Country banger, but in the main event, you have Paulo Costa taking on Martin Vettori. I can't wait for it. Let's keep locked in with Fight Night Picks, as we always say. Let's get into it.